What's up, guys? Welcome back to day 6 of using OpenClaw to babysit my Polymarket trading scripts. So things have been going well until today, and OpenClaw actually died twice, and I want to go over what made OpenClaw die, how I lost money because it died twice, and then what I plan on doing to stop this in the future. So why did OpenClaw actually die? Well, first I had a Wi-Fi outage, and that killed my Mac Mini's network connectivity, which means I could not have my OpenClaw do the current state it usually does, which is it goes to the server and fixes my state when drift happens. And so, for example, on the right-hand side here, you can see we're down about $10 in a day, and I think we would have been break even for the day had we been able to place our levels. So in the last video, I talked about how I have my bot placing different levels and selling the volatility. And you can see here that we actually missed some really good volatility because OpenClaw was dead for the better part of the last day for two separate reasons. And so when my script is trading the no side, and so it should have actually bought over here and bought more and then sold going down, but it didn't because of this Wi-Fi outage. And the second reason is the thing on the left, which is, if you didn't know, Claude Code actually was dead today for a while. So I actually used Claude Code though after the fact to debug why OpenClaw was dead, and it was actually a gateway issue. So if your OpenClaw just stops responding for some reason, could be like a gateway issue, you just have to restart it. As you can see here, Claude Code actually restarted it for me. Everything was fine. But unfortunately, OpenClaw was dead for a lot of the day. And so you can see here, it wasn't even responding. And I actually got so used to it working that I didn't even check to make sure it was sending me messages, which was unfortunate. And this was not just a small outage on Claude Code. Actually, it was actually a pretty big outage for like 4 or 5 hours this morning. And like even people like Andrej Karpathy, who was one of the biggest names in AI, was tweeting about it. He said his auto research labs got wiped out in the OAuth outage. Have to think through failovers. That's exactly what I've been doing because I did not have failover set up for this thing, and it cost me. Obviously, I'm not too sad. We're still up on the challenge, and the whole point of the challenge was not even making profit. It was to run the Polymarket scripts as an experiment through OpenClaw and have it babysit them. But obviously, we want to make sure this actually works, because when we put our real scripts through this thing, we can't be having these kind of issues with real money. So here's my plan. My plan is to use PagerDuty. If you've ever worked as a developer or you have other on-call responsibilities at your job, you might have seen something like PagerDuty before, but if you don't know what it is, it's just a service that you can call through code, and it literally calls your phone. Now, why is that important? Well, when it calls your phone, when something goes wrong, you tell it, hey, call me if this thing isn't responding, or if this log message appears, like something very bad. And it will call you on your phone and alert you. And I wish I had set this up. Normally for my Hyperliquid scripts, I have this, but I do not have it for OpenClaw yet. And what I really need is, I need OpenClaw, when it goes down, something else to ping OpenClaw or have OpenClaw do a health check, and then have this thing call me on the phone so I actually know something went wrong. Because if OpenClaw is down, it can't ping you and say, I'm down. Obviously, it's down. And it's the equivalent of being on call. So I use this, like I said, for Hyperliquid, but I do not use this for anything related to the Polymarket yet or OpenClaw. And so I've got to get this set up. And this is my plan to stop that from happening again. And this isn't the only one. You could use even like other services. You could even just use like Google Voice API and have it call you on when something's not working. But I actually want to have it health check get associated with my OpenClaw here, so that when it isn't sending me messages like this or not responding, or I want to actually have it do a health check, let's say every 30 minutes. So what OpenClaw would do is I would say, in fact, let's just do that right now. Design a health check system for yourself where if you go down, it would call me through PagerDuty. Don't code yet, just come up with idea. We're going to ask it, because the proper way would be to have OpenClaw do a request against something or save some data, whatever, just as a signal, like a health check, and then have another service, if that thing isn't there for that half-hour slot or 10-minute slot or hour slot, actually call you through PagerDuty or a similar service. But I'm curious to see what OpenClaw is going to say about itself. So let's say. So it says, here's the architecture, health check. Problem, I go silent for hours. You don't know if I'm dead, lazy, or if the server is down. Okay, 3 things. Heartbeat, dead man switch. That's the one I want. OpenClaw sends me polls. The question is, who watches the watchman? Exactly. If OpenClaw is down, the cron never dies. PagerDuty notices you get paged. These are all, good too, but I think for me, I would rather do the dead man switch. This is the architecture I would like. And so I'm going to implement this, and if you're using OpenClaw for trading, I know this sounds like it probably won't happen to you, but I also thought it wouldn't happen. But again, it's been almost 7 days at this point, and so these things do happen. They just happen very infrequently. And so I'm definitely going to get this integrated before I actually do serious money in my Polymarket scripts. But that's all for today's episode. Day 7, I'm going to do a full recap of this little experiment, what I liked about OpenClaw, what I didn't like using on the trading side, and I will see you guys in the next episode.